I invited my brother's wife's ex to our 4th of July barbecue, and the kid he brought made everyone freeze. Hey, I'm Jake, 34, and last year I invited my brother's wife's ex to our 4th of July barbecue, and accidentally blew up her entire life. It started when my older brother, Alex, married this woman named Tessa. From day one, I had a weird gut feeling about her. The first time I met her, she was wearing this skin-tight, neon green romper to our grandma's 80th birthday brunch. Everyone else was in khakis and summer dresses. My dad looked like he was trying not to stroke out. My grandma said, "Who's the woman dressed like a traffic cone?" out loud. But Alex was head over heels, so we all kept our mouths shut. I bought a house a couple years back with my boyfriend, Liam. We're big on entertaining, game nights, movie nights, backyard cookouts. People love coming over. And when Tessa married into the family, she became a regular guest. That's when the chaos began. The first time something felt truly off was at our Halloween party. I was in the kitchen doing shots with my college buddies when I noticed my friend Mark wasn't around. Found him in the hallway looking super uncomfortable, while Tessa leaned against the wall next to him, twirling her hair and asking if his abs were as strong as they looked. He looked like he wanted to melt through the drywall. She did this constantly, every party, every event. If there was a guy in the room, married or not, Tessa made a beeline for him like it was her full-time job. The worst part? Nobody wanted to say anything because she was Alex's wife. So they just avoid her or leave early. I was constantly apologizing for her behavior. Then things escalated. At our Super Bowl party, I caught her in the laundry room with our friend Matteo, married, 2 kids, who looked like he was being held hostage. Tessa was standing way too close, touching his arm, giggling. I walked in. Matteo jumped back like she'd electrocuted him. After that, Liam and I sat down and made a rule: no more inviting Tessa. But that meant no more inviting Alex, either, and that sucked. I missed my brother. I tried to warn him. Told him about Matteo, about the hallway incident, the laundry room. But Alex just said, "Tessa's a flirt. It doesn't mean anything." Right. And I'm the Queen of England. So I stopped inviting them. Until a chance encounter at a gas station gave me the one piece of leverage I never thought I'd find: Tessa's past. And once I had it, I threw the most explosive 4th of July party of my life. About 3 months after I cut Tessa out of my social calendar, I stopped at a gas station on my way home from work. I grabbed a Red Bull and some beef jerky because apparently I eat like a raccoon, and when I walked up to the counter, I heard someone behind me say, "Jake Harris? Is that you?" I turned around, and there stood Evan Nguyen. We went to high school together. He was a year ahead of me, ran cross-country, always had a pencil behind his ear like a cartoon character. We hadn't seen each other in probably 15 years. We caught up in the parking lot. He told me he just moved back to town after living in Denver for a while, worked as a UX designer, had a 4-year-old daughter, and was single. Seemed like he had his life together. I mentioned that Liam and I did a lot of backyard hangs and he should stop by sometime. You know, polite gas station reunion stuff. Then he said, "By the way, you're Alex's brother, right?" I blinked. "Yeah." "Why?" "Well, this might be awkward. But his wife? Tessa?" "Yeah. I dated her. Like, seriously dated her. Years ago. She just ghosted one day. No warning. One day she was in my kitchen making pancakes, the next gone. Blocked me on everything." My jaw hit the pavement. "Wait. You dated Tessa?" He nodded. "For about a year. Back when we lived in Denver. We had a kid together." I nearly dropped my Red Bull. "You have a kid with Tessa?" "Yeah. Sophia. She's 4 now. Tessa left when Sophia was 6 months old. Told me she wasn't cut out for motherhood and vanished. Never met Sophia again. I got full custody. Haven't heard from her since." I stood there in the parking lot trying to process what I just heard. Tessa had a whole daughter she never mentioned? She just abandoned her and moved states. I couldn't believe it. And she was married to my brother, pretending none of this ever happened. Does Alex know? I asked. Evan laughed, but it wasn't funny. I doubt it. She made it very clear she wanted nothing to do with me or Sophia. I didn't even know she'd gotten married. I drove home in silence that day, my hands shaking on the wheel. By the time I walked into the kitchen, Liam took one look at my face and said, "Who died?" "Nobody," I said. "But someone's about to lose their entire social life." I told him everything. Evan, the kid, the abandonment. "You're thinking about inviting him over, aren't you?" Liam asked, already seeing where this was going. "I'm not just thinking about it," I said. "I'm planning the party right now." "Jake. Be serious." "I am. Tessa came into our lives like a tornado in heels. She's disrespected our home, made people uncomfortable, made me feel like the bad guy for not liking her. And meanwhile, she's got a whole secret family? Nah. We're throwing the barbecue to end all barbecues." Liam stared at me. "You're gonna explode your brother's marriage on the 4th of July? America loves fireworks," I said. "Might as well make him personal." The plan was simple: invite Evan to our 4th of July party, act like it's a total coincidence, and let the truth unfold naturally. No screaming. No accusations. Just honest introductions and some passive-aggressive lemonade. We went all out that year. Rented a bounce house for the kids, borrowed extra tables and chairs from the neighbors. Liam built a beer pong station even though we're too old for that kind of liver abuse. My mom made potato salad that could cause world peace. It was the perfect all-American backyard bash. And of course, I invited Alex and Tessa. I also invited Evan. I didn't tell either of them the other was coming. Liam thought I was crazy. What if it turns into a full-blown fight? I shrugged. Then we'll have entertainment between fireworks. Tessa showed up fashionably late, wearing what I can only describe as a denim crime scene in 5-inch heels. In grass. She hugged me like we were best friends. "Jake. So glad you invited us. This is so fun." She kissed Liam on the cheek, then immediately found the nearest group of married men to giggle with. Classic Tessa. Alex was his usual golden retriever self, grateful, clueless, carrying folding chairs and asking where he could help. I felt bad for him. He deserved so much better. Then, at around 3 p.m., Evan arrived. He brought a tray of cupcakes and his daughter, Sophia. And holy hell, Sophia looked just like Tessa. Same almond-shaped eyes. Same dimple when she smiled. Same little sideways smirk that Tessa gave people when she thought she was getting away with something. You'd have to be legally blind not to notice it. I introduced Evan and Sophia to a few people casually. Liam stuck by me like a security blanket. I could feel the tension rising the moment Tessa spotted them. She was holding a wine spritzer. Froze mid-sip. Her face drained of color like someone unplugged her soul. Evan saw her. Raised his hand in a polite wave like this was just a friendly meet-up. "Tessa," he said, calm as a monk. She blinked. What are you doing here?" He smiled. "Jake invited me." "Small world, huh?" Tessa looked at me like I'd slapped her with a hot dog bun. "Are you serious?" I just smiled. "Didn't know you two knew each other." "How fun!" Alex walked over at that exact moment, a beer in hand. "Hey babe, everything okay?" Tessa looked like she was choking on her own skeleton. "Fine," she said too quickly. Alex turned to Evan. "Hi. I'm Alex. Tessa's husband." Evan shook his hand like the world wasn't about to shift. "Nice to meet you. I'm Evan. This is my daughter, Sophia." Tessa muttered, "We need to talk. Now." But it was too late. Alex was already staring at Sophia. Then at Evan. Then at Tessa. And you could see it. The math happening in real time. He looked at Sophia again, really looked, and asked, "Tessa, who is this?" Evan answered, Your wife's daughter. Our daughter. She left when Sophia was 6 months old. I haven't seen her since. The entire backyard froze. Tessa dropped her drink. Alex dropped his smile. And I dropped the act. Tessa turned to me, eyes blazing. How dare you do this? I took a sip of lemonade. Do what? Invite a friend to a barbecue? You don't own the guest list, sweetheart. Jake, Alex said, his voice low and shaking. Is this true? Is what he's saying true? She spun toward him. Alex, please, not here. Let's go inside. No, he said louder now. We're not going anywhere. You need to explain right now what the hell is going on. Evan stayed calm, holding Sophia's hand. The little girl looked around, confused but unfazed, clearly used to being with her dad and unfamiliar with this whole family drama on a holiday vibe. Tessa was spiraling. Alex, I was going to tell you. There was never a good time. It's complicated. Alex's face went red. We've been married for 2 years. Together for 3. That's 1,000 days of not telling me you have a child. She tried to grab his arm, but he pulled back. Were you ever going to tell me? Yes. I swear. I didn't know how to. Evan stepped in, cool as a cucumber. She told me she wasn't ready to be a mom. Packed her bags one afternoon, left a note that said she needed to find herself. Never called, never wrote. And now she's married to a guy who had no idea any of this happened. Tessa hissed at him. This isn't your business anymore. You mean our child isn't my business? He shot back. She's literally my business. You gave up your rights when you walked out, Tessa? Don't act shocked that someone finally pulled the curtain back. By this point, people were definitely eavesdropping. Liam was frozen mid-burger flip. My neighbor Maureen, who normally just came for the pie, was inching closer with a paper plate full of deviled eggs, whispering, Holy crap. Alex ran a hand through his hair. Why? Why would you lie about something like this? Tessa's voice dropped to a desperate whisper. Because I didn't think you'd want me if you knew. I thought you'd judge me. I would have judged you for leaving your child, Tessa. Not for having one. You think this makes you look better? And then Sophia, sweet, gentle Sophia, looked up at Evan and said, Daddy, is that lady my mommy? The backyard went silent again. Evan knelt next to her, gently brushing hair from her face. She was, honey. But remember what I told you. Sometimes people aren't ready to be parents. That's not your fault. You're perfect. Sophia nodded like this was just another Tuesday. But Alex? Alex looked like he'd just been stabbed in the heart with a sparkler. Tessa was crying now. Not cute, Instagram tears, ugly, smudged mascara, shoulder-shaking sobs. I didn't know she'd be here. I thought. You thought you could bury this part of your life. I said. You thought you could rewrite your story, and no one would notice. But Sophia exists. Evan exists. The truth exists. Alex's voice was hollow. I need space. Alex, wait. No. You need to pack a bag tonight. And with that, he walked inside. Tessa stood there, mascara running, chest heaving, completely exposed. No more secrets. No more lies. Just a backyard full of people watching the show and one little girl holding a cupcake, asking if she could play on the bounce house. Tessa didn't leave. I thought she'd storm off in some dramatic cloud of curse words and perfume, but no, she stayed. And not quietly. She tried to do damage control like it was a PR scandal. First, she went around the backyard telling people it was all a misunderstanding. I didn't abandon my daughter, she told my cousin's wife. I made a really painful decision during a really dark time in my life. Then she switched tactics and started painting me as the villain. Jake's always hated me. He's been waiting for a chance to embarrass me. This was all a setup. Which, yeah? It was. But not the way she meant it. I didn't fake a child. I just invited the father of the one she left behind. Meanwhile, Alex locked himself in our guest room. Liam brought him a plate of food, which came back untouched. I peeked in once and saw him just sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor, still holding the beer he'd been sipping when the truth came out. He looked like a guy who just found out his wife had a secret life, and a secret kid. Evan, on the other hand, was an absolute champ. He played it cool. After the dust settled, he let Sophia go bounce in the inflatable castle, sat with my dad and chatted about mountain bikes like this wasn't the most dramatic afternoon in recent family history. My mom tried to play Switzerland. Maybe this was meant to come out, she whispered to me in the kitchen. But Jake, I think you went too far. Mom, she left her baby and never said a word to her husband. I'm sorry, but I don't think we're playing by normal etiquette rules anymore. Mom sighed and patted my hand. At least let me pack up some dessert for Evan and Sophia. She did. 3 containers of cookies, brownies, and something she called emotional banana bread. And then, because Tessa wasn't finished humiliating herself, she stood on the deck, clinked a spoon against her wine glass, and tried to make a speech. I just want to say, she began, and a few heads turned. I know today was shocking for some of you. But I want to be honest. I made mistakes. I was young. I was scared. I never meant to hurt anyone. I love Alex. I never thought any of this would come back to haunt me. From across the lawn, Evan called out. She's 4. Not a ghost. Tessa blinked. What? You said it came back to haunt you. My daughter is not a haunted memory. She's a living, breathing kid who asked me last week if clouds have birthdays. People laughed. Not cruelly. Just, we were all done with Tessa's performance. Someone muttered, Take the L, girl. Sophia came bounding up to her dad, holding a hot dog. Can I have ketchup? Evan smiled. Of course, kiddo. Tessa looked at her, really looked at her, for the first time all day. And I swear, there was a flicker of something in her face. Regret? Longing? Hard to say. But it was gone just as fast. She turned, walked inside, and slammed the door to the guest bathroom. Later, Alex emerged. Quiet. Pale. He looked at Evan and said, She never mentioned Sophia. Not once. I'm sorry. Evan just nodded. Not your fault. Alex went over to the bounce house and just stood there watching Sophia play. She waved at him. He waved back. Can I go talk to her? He asked Evan. Of course. And just like that, they sat together, Alex and Sophia, on the edge of the bounce house. Talking like normal people. Like maybe this was the start of something new. Alex stayed late that night, long after most of the guests had gone home and the fireworks fizzled out. Tessa had Ubered away around 7 p.m., after slamming 2 more wine spritzers and loudly declaring, This whole family's toxic. No one argued. Evan was sitting with Liam and me on the deck, sipping a beer and watching Sophia chase lightning bugs with a glow stick crown on her head. Alex came out, sat down heavily, and just stared at the grass. She remembers you, Evan said gently. When she saw you earlier, she asked if you were a prince. I said, close enough. Alex gave a weak laugh, then ran a hand down his face. I don't know what to do. You don't have to decide everything tonight, I told him. She lied about everything, Jake. Every single thing. The stories she told me about her past, about her exes, about how she always dreamed of being a mom someday. I bought it. All of it. Liam set a drink in front of him. You didn't do anything wrong, man. You trusted your wife. That's not a failure. That's just being decent. Alex looked up. Do you think I could ever have a relationship with her? With Sophia? Evan didn't even hesitate. Yeah. I do. Sophia's got a big heart. You just have to show up. She'll do the rest. Alex stared out at her again. She was running in messy circles around a citronella candle, singing something that sounded suspiciously like a made-up song about hot dogs. He smiled. She's funny. Wait until she gets overtired, Evan said. Last week she told me our dog is probably emotionally allergic to broccoli. She's got Tessa's eyes, Alex murmured. Yeah, Evan said. But she's got none of Tessa's crap. The next weekend, Alex called Evan and asked if he could take Sophia to the zoo. Evan agreed. They sent me a picture from the giraffe enclosure, Sophia on Alex's shoulders, both of them grinning like they'd won the lottery. That was the beginning of something. They started hanging out every other weekend. Sometimes just the two of them, sometimes all three. Eventually, Evan invited Alex to Sophia's preschool graduation. Sophia insisted he wear a tie and sit in the front row. He did. Tessa? She tried to claw her way back into the picture. She texted Alex a few days after the barbecue with a long apology full of phrases like mental health crisis, emotional burnout, and societal pressures on women. Alex read it once and blocked her number. A week later, she messaged Evan. Claimed she was finally ready to be a mother. Evan sent back one message. Sophia already has 2 dads who love her. She doesn't need a tourist. Then blocked her too. Tessa tried one more stunt, sent Sophia a birthday card signed, "Love, Mom," with no return address. Sophia opened it, looked confused, then handed it to Evan and said, "This one's from Santa, probably." He didn't correct her. Because honestly? Why bother? The truth is, Sophia was thriving. She didn't need Tessa's chaos. She had stability, love, a family that showed up. And Alex? He started healing. By the time fall rolled around, Alex was a different guy. Not in the midlife crisis, bought a motorcycle kind of way. In the took up yoga, started therapy, cut his hair shorter and finally bought jeans that fit kind of way. He looked lighter, freer, like someone who'd stepped out of a very elaborate, very suffocating lie and was now breathing for the first time in years. He and Evan fell into this weird but beautiful co-parenting rhythm. It was casual at first, movie nights, playground trips, joint Target runs where Sophia somehow convinced both of them she needed yet another plush animal for emotional support. But over time, it turned into something bigger. Evan started calling Alex when he had to work late. "Can you pick Sophia up from daycare?" Alex started texting Evan midweek. "She forgot her art project at my place. Want me to drop it off?" Sophia, for her part, just soaked up all the attention like a tiny sunbeam in Velcro sneakers. She started calling Alex Uncle Dad one day, which made everyone laugh so hard they cried. By Christmas, she just called him Dad number 2. Tessa, meanwhile, spiraled. We didn't hear much from her directly, but word travels fast in a town where everyone's mom still gets their hair done at the same 2 salons. Apparently, she moved in with a guy she met on a dating app, some personal trainer/podcast host with a man bun named Kale, or something equally offensive. It lasted about 6 weeks. Kale dumped her after finding out she was still technically married. She tried messaging Alex again. This time she sent long, rambling voicemails about how she was in a place of deep reflection and ready to co-parent if Sophia needed maternal energy. Alex didn't respond. So she tried one last Hail Mary, showing up uninvited to Sophia's school fall festival. She cornered Evan near the pumpkin patch and said, "You can't keep me away from my daughter forever." Evan calmly replied, "Watch me," and flagged down the school resource officer. Tessa was escorted out holding a half-eaten caramel apple and muttering something about men stealing her legacy. That was the last time anyone saw her. But the fallout didn't stop there. Tessa's mother, whom we hadn't heard from in years, called Evan 2 weeks later. She tracked him down through mutual friends and wanted to apologize for what Tessa had done. She was always slippery, the woman said. Never held on to anything too long. Jobs, relationships, responsibilities. I'm sorry she left you alone with Sophia. I really am. Evan was gracious, of course. He thanked her and invited her to come meet Sophia, if she could be consistent and respectful. She visited once. Brought a stuffed unicorn and a nervous smile. Sophia liked her instantly, but Evan kept his boundaries up. Trust, he said, would take time. As for Alex, something had shifted in him permanently. He wasn't just showing up for Sophia. He was thriving. He took up drawing again. Started dating a woman from his art class, a pediatric nurse named Zoe with an eyebrow ring and a quiet laugh. She met Sophia and didn't try to take over, didn't try to be new mommy. Just listened and played and asked good questions like, "What do dinosaurs eat on Thanksgiving?" Sophia thought she was a genius. By Thanksgiving, our house was full again. Evan and Alex came over with Sophia in a sparkly dress she insisted was formal wear. My mom made way too much stuffing. Liam deep-fried a turkey and somehow didn't burn the deck down. And during dinner, Sophia stood on her chair and clinked a spoon against her juice box. "I just want to say," she declared, "that I love all my dads. Even if one of them doesn't have hair on his head." Evan laughed. "Okay, roast me." Alex grinned. "She's not wrong." I sat there, watching this chaotic, beautiful, patched-together family unfold in front of me, and thought, this is what it's supposed to feel like. Not perfect. Not traditional. But honest. And honestly? Way better than anything Tessa ever tried to fake. Sophia turned 6 last month. She requested a dragon-themed birthday party with real lava cake, not the fake kind, and insisted it happen at our house because, and I quote, "Uncle Jake's yard has good vibes." So naturally, we went full chaos. Liam made a papier-mâché volcano centerpiece that shot out dry ice smoke. My dad dressed up in a dinosaur costume because we misunderstood the theme entirely. Evan brought a karaoke machine. Alex made dragon cupcakes with edible glitter and only cried a little when Sophia said they were better than store-bought. Zoe came too. She brought art supplies and helped the kids paint dragon eggs. At one point I caught her helping Sophia tie her shoes while humming some indie band tune I couldn't place. It wasn't a big moment. But it was, right. Like she was already part of the team. Later, while everyone was singing happy birthday, Sophia stood on a lawn chair between Evan and Alex, wearing a tinfoil crown and a green cape, and yelled, "This is the best birthday ever because I have 2 dads and a queen aunt. I'm not crying. You're crying." After the party, when the kids were sticky with frosting and the adults were knee-deep in folding chairs and wrapping paper, I sat on the back deck with Alex and Evan. We were tired. Happy. A little sunburned. "You know," Alex said, watching Sophia chase the dog with her cape flapping, "I used to think my life was over after Tessa." Evan chuckled. "Same. But it wasn't," Alex said. "It just rerouted. Like GPS. And I ended up somewhere better." "Yeah," I said, raising my beer. "With more dragons and less drama." We toasted to that. That night, after everyone left, Liam and I were cleaning up when I found a note tucked into the gift bag Sophia had labeled, "For Dad and Dad only." Naturally, I read it anyway. It said, "Dear Daddy Evan and Daddy Alex, thank you for loving me all the time and not going away. I don't remember everything from when I was a baby, but I know I'm happy now. And if I ever have a baby, I'll be just like you. Love, Sophia, Dragon Queen." I stuck the note on our fridge next to her latest drawing, a stick figure family of 4 labeled, "Me, Dad, Other Dad, and Jake." Close enough. We never heard from Tessa again. Word is she moved to Texas and started doing MLM skincare, which honestly feels like the natural conclusion to her villain arc. She still hasn't tried to reach out to Sophia again, which is probably for the best. And Sophia? She's thriving. She starts 1st grade in the fall. She's reading chapter books now, still obsessed with dragons, and just got promoted to junior line leader at her summer camp, which she says is basically being in charge of everything. She's got a support system that shows up, that tells the truth, that puts her first. 2 dads, 1 chaotic aunt, and more grandparents than she can count. We built something real out of something broken. And maybe it didn't start with good intentions. Maybe I was just trying to expose a liar at a backyard barbecue. But what came out of it, this family, this messy, beautiful, flame-throwing dragon family, was more than I ever expected. So yeah? Would I do it all again? Invite the baby daddy to blow up a 4th of July party? In a heartbeat. Because sometimes, the best stories start with a little chaos, and end with a little girl in a cape yelling, "I have 2 dads!" at the top of her lungs. And honestly, that's the kind of happy ending they don't write in books. But maybe they should.